Man, I can't believe I ran out of protein today. That's a big rookie mistake. But I got a new order in, so all is good. What is up, everybody? So, kind of an interesting day today. Kind of a rough day. This morning, we took Harry and Lloyd back. Those were the two puppies we'd been fostering for the last couple weeks. Today was our last day with them. So we had to take them back, and so that was kind of rough. And then I got to the office, and my feed was just blowing up with stuff, and I wasn't exactly sure what was going on. So I went on there, and for those of you, I know not everyone's on Facebook or whatever, but so anyway, basically I did that transformation, it's been about 4 years ago now, and Spartan Race, which was like a thing, they kind of shared it. Well, they reshared it again like 4 years ago or whatever. But anyway, they reshared it, and just the amount of comments and stuff. Usually it doesn't bother me too much, but today I just wasn't really in the mood for it in the first place. And then to read them all and read all the negativity and everything, I'm going to be honest, it did kind of hurt my feelings a little bit. I had a kind of a tough time dealing with it. The stuff that was on there, it was. So, that's my transformation. And it's just, basically 100 comments of people from steroids to fake, and I don't know. Just a lot of stuff was on there. Negativity kind of being slung my way today. And, I just kind of relate to this because a lot of people that I talk to, when they're kind of starting on, their fitness journey or something like that, it's something that they have to deal with too. Anytime you make a change in your life, especially a change for the positive, that makes other people feel uncomfortable, they're going to kind of react negatively to you a lot of times with those situations. It wasn't really what they were saying that upset me too much. It was the kind of the posts that really did kind of get to me a little bit were the ones where they said something was impossible. It was impossible to do something in 8 weeks. And that's not the case. Those that know me know that was an 8-week process. But I learned a lot from that whole experience. I didn't really do it the right way. That was a contest for bodybuilding.com. And my whole thing was I just wanted to get down as much and as lean as possible in an 8-week time frame. And I did do that. But what I usually like to share with that is, what happened after that. And, kind of what happened leading into that. That was a very kind of low point in my life before I started that transformation. I just lost my best friend. I dealt with that a lot by drinking and eating obscene amounts. Those that know me back then, a night would be go out to the bars about 2 or 3 in the morning, stop at Quick Trip, spend $50 worth of food at Quick Trip, eat it all, and then just kind of repeat. So, that before picture, it was a lot worse than things probably were. But that was just kind of, what was going on in my life at the time. And then afterwards, because I did it kind of the wrong way, maybe on the 8 weeks, it wasn't real sustainable for me. So that's why I always now preach sustainability, because at that time it didn't work. And what it did lead was to very massive, severe binge eating after that. The night after I took those, after pictures and got in that good of shape, I went out again, and I can remember being in bed that night, by myself, just smashing pizza uncontrollably. So, it wasn't healthy. And what my thing now is, that's why I try and coach and teach things kind of the way I do, is because I want them to be sustainable. My whole point in this whole thing now is learning from those mistakes. I made every wrong decision you could possibly think of. Back when I first started training, I was just training however I wanted. I wasn't even paying attention to what I ate. So, I've learned a lot through this whole thing, from, doing things the wrong way to where it's not sustainable. And, after that transformation, I looked great. But then 30 days later, after that, I actually kind of looked worse than those before pictures ever to begin with. But my intent was never to kind of come out and, make it look like, I don't know, something unrealistic or anything like that. That was never the intent. Obviously, yes, there was spray tan and stuff involved. I looked like a vampire in one picture and then the other. But we were going for the win. I mean, that's kind of things you have to do. If you're involved in the fitness industry, you see that all the time. everyone from like WWE wrestlers to fitness competitors and stuff, those guys are all pretty much all spray tan all the time. That's just kind of part of the game. And so, I've seen both extremes. My most heaviest at that before picture was 260 pounds, and I've gotten to my most lean at like 195, and that was great too. But, what goes along with that is just when I was at my most, when I got down to my most lean, I again didn't always do it the right way, and I paid a high price for that too. I've had a lot of mental issues that came from that. I had a lot of personal issues because I wasn't putting the right priorities in my life and things like that. So I've dealt with both extreme ends of the spectrum. And the reason I guess everyone I got upset with it today is because, they were accusing me of trying to portray something I'm not and all that stuff. And that's really not my thing, especially now. Like, I try and be realistic. I try and use the lessons I learned. I try and be very transparent in talking about training and all that stuff and being open with everything else. That's why the way it's going now is I'm trying to help people out with their transformations. A lot of times when people come to me, I will not be the right fit for them to help because I will not help them go to those, that extremes end of the spectrum. I'll never take someone and be like, okay, we're going to try and get as quick as results as possible, and you're going to be eating like somewhere between 1,000 to 1,500 calories or somewhere in there, 0 carbohydrates, all that stuff, because it's not right. It's not good for you. Yeah, you'll get quick results, but in the long run, you'll probably end up worse off. And that's where so sometimes, when people are asking me to help them and stuff, it just won't be a good fit because I don't really believe in that stuff anymore. And the reason is because I've done things the wrong way, and I've had people just put me on their super, super strict meal plans and everything like that, and I paid the price for them. So kind of that's why. And at the same time, these things are like a struggle. I've always struggled with kind of my weight and things like that and how I feel and self-esteem and all that stuff. So I try and help others because I feel I can kind of relate to what's going on in their head sometimes with this stuff, because sometimes it is really hard, especially, I just saw it today, just that little post that I didn't make, and I have all these people coming at me. I'm like, what is going on? So, there's always going to be those people out there. Anytime you're doing something, anytime people are uncomfortable, that's how they're going to react. That's just part of the game. And it's not always easy to deal with. I know a lot of times we talk about, you can just ignore it and don't pay attention to them and all that stuff. But sometimes, we're human. Sometimes that stuff is going to affect us and will kind of get to us. Like I said, it kind of did today. But, I got a kind of a plan to deal with it and all that stuff. But anyway, we're talking about the transformations and stuff and the photos. So, like, First Phorm's got theirs going on. And like I said, like, I don't walk around super shredded year-round. This is, a before photo I took like 30 days ago. And yes, like, my stomach's sticking out. I just worked out, drank a ton of water, all that stuff. Just kind of, that's how the before pictures are. There's the back, there's the front, all that stuff. But what really got me thinking about, and my whole thing is I want to lead by example. Like, that's the whole point of this for me. And you'll see some stuff coming out on this, but through this whole transformation, that's the biggest leadership principle I believe in, is setting the example, helping others. And, the biggest thing that I guess that bothered me too is, there was spray tan, yes. There was a shaved chest, yes. But there was also 8 weeks of extreme dedication and hard work. And there wasn't any extra assistance or anything like that. And so that kind of bothered me too. It's just that everyone has something to say about how impossible it is, but they're really just not willing to put in the work to get there. My nutrition was probably a lot stricter than it needed to be, and I talked about that, but the training and everything else that went into that, it was 8 weeks. Just like I said, there wasn't any photoshopping or anything else. Someone talked about the lighting either. I know Kyle is on here. Like, we shot those in the dungeon of Gardner High School with his cell phone. Like, so that was the cool lighting and awesome photos we got done. But you know what? I'm not going to talk about it anymore. I told you, the title of this Periscope is How I Deal with Negativity. And the best way I know to deal with negativity in all aspects of life, no matter what you're going after, is you just have to prove people wrong. Take what they said, use their motivation, attack every day, and prove them wrong. And prove to them what is actually possible. And, sometimes you might actually change some minds. But then also, you're going to help motivate people in the process. Like, the people that know me, the people that care, that, that I'm close to this stuff, they know how that stuff went down. And they've supported me anytime, no matter what. But, you know, I want to really show now, and I wish I would have documented that whole thing in the first place, but I've got another opportunity now. We're doing this thing for first form. I'm really excited because now I can take all the lessons I've learned through these last few years and start to apply them and help others. And not only that, but I also want to help and provide the example myself. So what I'm going to do is I can actually capture this whole next 8 weeks. I'm going to go through like a similar thing. But what I'm going to do is I want to actually get some footage of the pictures and things like that so that you can actually see, you know, the before pictures and all that stuff. And you can actually see what this process looks like for me over the next 8 weeks. So, got the sign. This is going to where I'm going to do all my photos from now on. We talked about the comfort zone earlier. I'm a little uncomfortable right now because I don't want to take my shirt off and all that stuff. But remember, we have to be the example. I got a lot of transformers out there. We're all in this together, so we're just going to do it. So, this is my day one. Now, I showed my day one starting pictures. That was about 30 days ago, I think. Right now, I'm about 210, which is about 15 pounds away from kind of where I'm at on stage. So I have about 15 pounds to go. I'm going to try and lose 15 pounds over the next 60 days. That's what I'm going to look for. So here's my sign. Transformation starts today. This is the front. Yes, I know, the non-shaved chest and all that stuff. It will be shaved in the after photos. That's going to happen. But I'm keeping it how it is, Wolverine style, for a little bit. All right, and then the side. And yes, you can kind of manipulate. You can, a lot of the before photos and stuff, you'll stick out your stomach and everything like that. But this is just kind of me normal standing now. Not sticking out my stomach or anything like that. Front. And then the back. And so now we'll kind of see what we can do. I'll share everything, my progress as we go for the next 60 days. And starting, so today's March 1st, and then May 1st, we'll come back around. I'll check in every like 2 to 3 weeks or so. And then May 1st, we'll do this again. No, March, April. Yeah, May 1st. And then we'll kind of see. And I'll show you kind of what really we can do in 8 weeks. And I will show you that you can get pretty unrealistic expectations and get those results you're looking for. You just have to be dedicated to the entire process. So, you know, thanks for tuning in. That's how I'm going to deal with this whole situation from today. And honestly, it kind of came at a good time because it got me fired up. Like, I'm kind of glad it was just kind of weird timing. Like, Spartan Race posted that today. We were just getting started with the next 30 days of the first form transformation. And then I got that. And now it just gave me extra motivation. So, that's another good quote. Some of the best motivational speeches you'll ever hear is when people tell you you can't do something. Well, and I'm going to show you now that you can do something. So, thanks for tuning in, everybody. Love you guys.